I've had a few people ask me if my book, Painting Animals That Come to Life, Techniques in Acrylic to Create Lifelike Portraits of Horses and Dogs, would also work for oil painters. So the quick answer is yes, there's a lot of information in here that works well for oil painters. And I will give you a little look at the book so you can see what I mean. So there are many ways to use oil paint, and if you wanted to use it where you let the paint dry, similar methods could be used as that I use in acrylics. So the first part of the book talks about my materials. It talks about drawing and getting your painting directly onto the canvas, getting your drawing on. There are several different methods that artists use, and I've detailed them in here. It talks about the application of paint, mixing color, and then I go into the step-by-steps. So this is specifically for acrylic, but most of the steps used could also be duplicated in oil. You could wash in the color and wipe off the colors the same way. You could use thin layers of wash in oil. You could slowly build up the layers in the same way as I do in acrylic. The paint behaves differently naturally, and the colors would perhaps be named slightly differently, but other than that, most of these techniques would be the same. So in this book, I've got several step-by-steps explaining as I go how each one is done and the colors and materials that I use for them. Then I go into different details, like how the paint can be applied, different ways of composing a painting, some extra tips, choosing your photo reference. There's a section on painting eyes and noses, different details. And then there's additional tips that would also work for oil painters. Now, if you want to paint wet in oil, I would recommend you instead purchase this book, because this is the book that I've written that's specifically an oil painting workshop where painting can be done in 1 or 2 sittings. So this book walks right through step by step the process that I use painting wet. All of these books are available on Amazon.